Stretch your calves out.
Yeah. It's good when I walk up steep hills and get to do the stretch. Try to put my heel down. I used to run up this bit, I cannot believe that.
When did you run?
When I was like 14, 15. Somehow I thought that would make me good at golf, it didn't.
Break. Yeah. You see the house?
Yeah, there.
Do you remember when people used to come out and wave?
Yeah.
Do you miss home when you're away?
Realise how lucky I am when I'm away.
How would you describe your childhood?
Perfect. Yeah.
He was born 10 weeks premature, and although the birth went fine, he had to be admitted to the special care baby unit.
Our first recollection of Kippy was thinking he wasn't going to be here for very long.
When we got there, all we saw were a small baby.
With tubes everywhere.
Tubes everywhere, yeah.
We'd been living in special care for 6.5 weeks, and he came home even before he should have been born, so it was quite scary.
As he started to get stronger and walked more and more, and he started to grow, the muscles in his lower legs didn't grow with the bones. He probably had a small bleed on the brain which resulted in the cerebral palsy, which is referred to as spastic diplegia.
Finding out Kipp had a cerebral palsy was difficult, but at the end of the day you've got 2 little children that need looking after, and we just carried on as normal.
I've been very fortunate. I've just grown up in a household that's very loving. No one ever treats me any different, and you know, I don't think I ever want to be treated any different.
I think family's everything.
I wouldn't be on the projection I am if it wasn't for my mum and dad. I was watching golf one day with my dad, and I said, I want to do that. He said, I can do it if I want to. And I was thinking, oh, that's pretty cool. Even with my legs, I can do that.
I got him plastic golf clubs, and we had a red one, which was like a driver, and a blue one, which was like a 5-iron. And he developed a very good swing virtually from the time he could stand.
Golf was a time where I could just be with my dad, so that was quite special.
Oh good, I wasn't recording any of that.
Don't worry, you're recording now. To have 4 hours with him on a weekend to play a round of golf, just me and him. That's why I fell in love with golf. It wasn't actually golf, it was being with him. Golf's always been a positive thing in my life. It was a mental challenge and a mental focus that I've had to use my whole life. It matched really well. Pin high, baby! Everything I did as a kid, it was like, oh, here's a challenge.
I mean, he said sometimes people were cruel at school when he fell down all the time, but no, he just would always pick himself up and try again, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Always.
Sport has always been a massive part of my life. I've loved sport, but I was also sort of in that sports group, but never in the sports team. I think that maybe steered me a bit more towards golf as well, because I felt you just go out and try win the event, and so it meant that no one was deciding for me if I was allowed to play.
Hello, Kipp. Kipp was actually a very good pupil. He was polite, respectful, had a bit of a glint in his eye, and for Kipp, golf was an expression of his being.
I'll be in this one somewhere. There I am, pulling the face. I couldn't go to a golf school or a golf college. So that same intensity I put, it was like, might as well just put that same work ethic into this schoolwork, and that will teach me values that I can take to the golf course.
I could never quite understand, because it's such a hard surface, how competitive you all played, and yet nobody ever got injured.
Yeah, I think, you just scrape your knees and get up.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Do you remember being in my assembly one Wednesday morning and doing keepy uppies?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and you did keepy uppies with your golf club.
Yeah.
And we had to stop you after 1,000.
Yeah. I couldn't do a school walk, and so I didn't want to be the only kid at the school that didn't raise money for charity. I remember I got to 300, I feel my forearm tighten. I just kept going in front of these 400, 500 people that, as I say, probably didn't believe that I would be any good at golf. And then before I knew it, I was at 1,001. In school, it was tough. Some operations, I'd be out for 3 to 6 months.
It got so bad that he had to have surgery to actually cut the muscles in his calf to let them stretch and lengthen. And the muscular imbalance because of that then resulted in deformities to his feet. And they couldn't do anything about that until his bones had stopped growing, and that wasn't going to be until he was 16.
They sound scary, and if anyone ever says to me they've got surgery coming up, I'm like, I feel scared for them. I remember sitting in the hospital room before my first surgery on my right foot, knowing that there was pressure behind it. If it didn't come off, I didn't know where I was going to go. I knew these surgeries weren't going to make me good at golf, but I'm like, thought I'd been able to win, majors and big tournaments. I was like, well, that's a risk I'm willing to take. Quite tight, especially in the morning, so that's the bit I find hardest, is walking from bed to the shower. But yeah, exactly. I spent so many hours, in hospitals, in physio clinics.
And apart from golf, is there anything else you
There was times as a kid that I would, get quite upset with my legs, and smack them maybe. I remember just, sometimes it just hit me and it's just like, oh, come on guys, work a bit better. But if I clap my hands 3 times, I still have cerebral palsy. You get bitter or you get better, I guess. Wilderness Golf Club was the first golf club I was ever a member of. And they'd see me every day in the summer. I used to joke with them that I was part of the furniture. They'd come in at 6 AM and I'd be on the putting green, and they'd leave at 8 PM and I'd be on the putting green. People would always say, Kipp, stop pushing it so hard. But I would sit there at lunchtime with an ice bucket, put my feet in the ice bucket for the hour break of lunch, so that I knew I could go practice more.
Fundamentally, the thing about Kipp is that Kipp is Kipp. He's always himself. And I think that's as true today as it was when he started. His determination is there for everybody to see, and he's using that to get himself to where he wants to get to.
Up in small stages, buddy. We can't have you getting hurt today, especially not in the middle of your season. You've got big stuff coming up. Chest, try and go a bit slower on the way down. Okay, another 5, 3, 2, 1. Hold, slowly down. Nice strong press. It's always been about golf. The disabled doesn't really come into it, right? You've just wanted to be a golfer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the goal is always to be the best golfer you can be. Mm-hmm. And the CP is just another one of those challenges against you, right?
First meeting Kipp was in uni. It was probably early on in one of the first lectures or so, when he talked about trying to go as far in golf as he could, which was always an interesting comment, but when he said it, it sort of did mean something.
3, great technique, Kipp. 4, and...
He just never believes in anything other than what he can achieve.
Yes, 1. Nice one. A little rest there.
Lovely stuff.
My father always used to say to us all, just press on. That's what you've got to do. If there's anything that's in front of you, so just press on. And Kipp's taken that, and that's one of his key mantras.
I guess press on means, to me, it means next task. You know, it's hold the 8-foot birdie putt, right, what's next? Tee shot on 12, or, you know, whatever, or, you know, I've used that quote off the golf course when my cousin passed away.
When Archie died, it was, you know, it was so unexpected.
Archie was a professional rugby player, and I think that's something that he and Kipp had together.
And a bit like me, 3 years earlier, if he would have said he was going to be a professional rugby player, people would have laughed. So, you know, when I was telling people I was going to be a professional golfer, they giggled, but Archie didn't giggle. He worked so damn hard for it, and then he got taken away. Maybe golf was more important to me than family was until then.
I think Kippy just carries him in his heart.
I won my first EDGA event in his top, and I remember the night before saying to my grandparents, you know, I'll FaceTime you tomorrow with Archie's shirt on and a trophy. He was going to win a lot of trophies, so I'm just trying to get as many for me and him as I can, I guess.
We're immensely proud of what he's achieving, and we're all glued to the television and our phones to see how his scores are going. The example that he sets for everybody, whatever hindrances you've been given in life, actually they mean nothing. And if you're determined enough, there's no limit to what you can achieve. And he's the living embodiment of precisely that, I think.
But they're all chasing Kipp Popert, and that will put him 5 under par.
Getting to world #1, that was pretty cool. Archie was still very much on my mind, you know, it wasn't long since. And I wanted to put a point out there that, you know, I'm getting to world #1 and I'm not going to go away.
When Kipp reached the #1 disabled golfer in the world, it was the end of what's been an incredible journey. And for us as a family to see him achieve that, amazing.
I'm very proud. With the beginning that he had, you know, we couldn't envisage him doing what he has done.
Really proud of him. He's still pushing, he's still dreaming, he's still got lots to do. I just hope he manages to go as far as he wants to go.
Well, I'm very fortunate for what disability golf has given me and the opportunities it's given me and the support I've had from it, but my aim is to be the first person to bridge the gap between able-bodied and disability golf. When you're on the cusp of doing something great or doing something good, there's going to be pressure. If I do feel a bit uncomfortable, it's a good thing. There's something cool around the corner. You've got a chance to do something great. So getting to world #1, a pretty cool milestone, but you know, press on.
To watch another DP World Tour video, click here, and to subscribe, click here.